So fear is something that pretty much every human on the planet has to deal with a lot of times on a daily basis, whether it be fear of heights, fear of spiders, fear of the dark, etc., etc. Everybody has a specific fear, and but most of the time those fears are pretty much mental and exclusively mental, because if you have a fear of spiders, typically you're going to be scared of not just the big poisonous spiders, but the small jumping spiders as well that can't hurt you at all. And if you're afraid of heights, you're going to be scared of heights, no matter how high it is. But most of the time, they can't typically harm you unless you come into direct contact with them. And in the case of spiders, the little tiny jumping spiders can't hurt you. They can't bite you, they can't poison you or anything, and with heights you have to like physically fall off the height. So most of the time they're typically just mental fears. And so one day the dark side of my brain reached out to me and said, well, what if fears were not just mental but physical? And me being an artist, that's like, I went and grabbed my sketch pad and instantly started drawing a character that represented fear itself, the physical embodiment of fear. And so, yeah, it's one of my scarier drawings, to be honest, and it's one that requires the most detail, and that's both a good thing and a bad thing, because despite it being super detailed, the details make it scary, or not really scary, creepy. But yeah, I'm just gonna get on with the time lapse and explain to you guys the backstory behind this character. So Fear is an original character of mine. I came up with him one day in art class of all places, and I drew the first kind of design for him and came up with his backstory. So Fear resides in the subconscious mind of every human being on the planet, and in the universe that exists in my brain that I've created, fear is like not really a physical being unless you allow him to become physical. And so you hear of people that become fearless, they actually, like, you can go into your subconscious mind using meditation, and that's where you face fear. And so fear is like, it's a creature that can basically bring your greatest fears to life through your subconscious. And so when you go to face your fear, you will be sent to, like, once you reach the subconscious, you will be sent to like a dark, just completely black room, and the only thing you will have is a campfire beside you, and everything else is pitch black. And so fear will hide in the shadows and speak to you in kind of like a raspy, disgusting sounding voice, and then you have to basically overcome what he throws at you. And what he throws at you is basically all your fears in one specific moment. And so if you're afraid of heights, he'll put you on a mountaintop, or he'll make it seem like you're on a mountaintop, but you have to be able to realize that it's fake, and he's just trying to trick you and trying to get himself to win. So the way he can become physical and become real in the physical plane of existence is by you succumbing to his illusions and letting him win. And so physically, he can't harm you when you're in the subconscious. Just like normal fear, you can't be harmed by your own fear unless you actively, like, something physically happens to you. So he can't harm you physically, but his looks and his powers kind of make it seem like he can. And so it's really, really scary to face him, because you're going to be faced with all of your fears, all at one time. And so when I was drawing him, I tried to make him seem as creepy and disgusting looking as possible. I wanted to make him look like a kind of malnourished, deformed human. And so I made his head really big, and I gave him like 3 rows of teeth and giant black eyes. And then I gave, when I got to his chest, I made his ribs showing and his collarbones showing, and his arms are super bony, and you can see his shoulder blades sticking out, and his legs are really thin, and his body's just all kind of hunched over and gross looking. And I gave him 2 tongues that are just like serpentine like, and they have like 3 splits on them, and it's just overall it's just disgusting to look at. And so that's what I wanted to go for, and this is one of my scariest character designs ever. Most of the time I design superheroes and dragons and super villains, but this is one of the first not only scary to think about characters, but scary to look at characters. And so it was really, really interesting to me to draw him, but I feel like the character himself turned out really cool, or itself I should say. It doesn't really, it's just like a, I don't really know how to say it, like genderless, emotionless being, and it's gross. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about fear, and thank the Lord, he does not exist in real life. So enjoy the rest of the time lapse, and I'll see you in a bit. So there you have it, ladies and gents. There is Fear in his physical form. I really, really like how it turned out, but I've drawn this character a few times, and every time it just gets creepier and creepier. His fingers are just, his fingers, they're disgusting. But yeah, overall, really cool character, and really cool backstory behind him, I think. You guys can let me know what you think of this guy in the comments section below. If you are absolutely terrified of this, do feel free to leave a dislike on the video. I will not mind at all. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, and let me know what you guys want me to draw next. But for today, I'm out of here, so I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.